everybody. Uncle Rick here from Chronic Noise. We're about to do some interviews, keep you guys happy on the Metal Monday shows when I gotta be at work. Tonight we've got Cody McDermid, ex-Seducing Medusa, and so many other bands. So welcome, Cody.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. What have you been doing lately?
Music-wise, been working with the guy from Seducing Medusa, Troy, the guitarist. And we've been in a band. Started up a band that's we haven't played any shows yet due to COVID,
Right.
but it's kind of a mix between folk and punk and metal, and we're kind of doing the lean thing where we change it up per song. It might be a totally different genre and stuff, and we're both multi-instrument on that, so I'm doing drums, keyboards, guitar, bass, vocals, and Troy's doing the same. And
What's the name of that project?
that's Awkward Turn Your Suicide.
Nice.
And it's kind of it's kind of like the Gorillaz, where it's got like, we have these puppets that are the band, and we kind of hide behind them for all our Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
So if you take that live, which I'm sure you will at some point, might there be puppets involved in a live show?
Yeah, we want to have it so that it has some kind of, we haven't figured out yet how to do it yet. We don't know if we're going to have people manning the puppets, separate people, or if we're just going to have them at the show, or if it might even be like, we'll play live, but then I'm walking around with a puppet on my hand the rest of the night.
Right.
And then we're also planning on some merch ideas.
Could even do like the old guys, the two old guys in the balcony.
Yeah.
Right? Your puppets could be like, well,
the
that's stuffed,
commentary,
or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
or something like that. But
yeah, so there's a bunch of different options with it, and we also want to, we're trying to talk to Daryl, the drummer of Seducing Medusa, who's doing movies now, about doing a short
shout out to
film.
Orange Hat Productions,
Yeah.
Film Productions.
Their movie that we're both in, just now on YouTube for free.
44 caliber, even our
go
camera
check it
person is in that movie. So if you get a chance to check out 44 caliber Killer, I believe was the full title, or was it?
I think it's just
Son
point,
of Sam, or
point 44. Is
it point 44?
Yeah,
but it kind of skates along the line of the Son of Sam killings, and it's really, really cool. It was fun to be in, really well done, and you did the soundtrack for that too.
Yeah,
right?
I think I did 3 songs for it that are like the theme song, and then a couple songs that are in
your style. Your
style.
style is real. I don't know if it's decidedly this way, but it has a morose, dark, or almost, I don't want to say depressing, because there is hope sound in your songs, but it's a real I've been kicked in the balls type of, you know.
Yeah, and I've always like
so that
kind of shot for that, the creepy or the the sad,
your voice
kind of
wobbles,
morose, and
which
like,
I want to kind of say too, that when I met you, I don't know how many years ago, 10 or whatever years ago.
Even more than that, I think.
Yeah, when we were out in the shadow, so 12
15,
years, 13.
Like, I was around 15. I'm 29 now, so 14 years ago.
Yeah. And when we were doing that, you guys were Peaches and Crime. Right? There was you, Bob Andy, Daryl,
and
was
Isaac.
Oh,
and,
right.
And Jeremy. That was the original 5, and then Isaac ended up leaving.
And the very night that I was booking you guys as Peaches and Crime, and we had Evan Tierney, Party Cat, Yates Letters, whatchamacallit, that turned into Aaron from Intervals, his opening band, his original, I can't remember what they're called now. They were on that as well. But anyway, the night of that show, one of you guys come up and go, oh, yeah, because I had it all written out who was playing first, and it said Peaches and Crime. And you went, yeah, we changed our name to Seducing Medusa. I'm like, what? And like,
I'm pretty sure it was like the night before, too.
Yeah,
we'll just
so, okay, so I scratched Peaches and Crime, Seducing Medusa, and that was it for forever on. You guys were like a party metal band, and it was kind of like a Holly Springs mixed with every little bit of punky southern bluesy. Like you guys had
Yeah.
everything. It was really cool. I loved booking you.
It's funny because like we were talking about it earlier, how two of us, me and Troy, were very much more into the hardcore and like spazzy sound, where the other three guys were a lot more into the proggy kind of
Right.
rocky sound and
Right.
stuff. And it was just the match of that
You-
really made us like.
You would almost
weird,
think that wouldn't
like-
have worked, where the proggy guys, which are usually like music snobs, would normally be like, "Fuck, I'm not playing that punky crap."
Yeah.
And the punk guys would be like, "I'm not listening to that Dream Theater-y, Mandroid or whatever." But you guys complemented each other. Songs would have like 3 different facets or feelings or timings to them because each person had a hand in writing it,
Yeah.
or how your part comes up. So then you're doing your scream. Then Andy would always come in and do this
Breaks in with a
soaring
voice.
vocal, yeah. And then Jared
And he's
comes in.
very like rock. His voice too, like it's not even as much like a metal singing voice. It's like a
Yeah.
rock kind of blues based singing voice.
You were the most metal voice in the band, and you weren't really metal per se.
Yeah.
You just had that scratchy, gravelly, screaming voice.
Yeah,
you
and
were
then
the
there
metal
was
guy.
Jeremy too, right,
Yeah.
who also had a great singing voice.
He had the
And, like,
crazy in-between voice of Andy and you.
Yeah.
His voice always, as soon as his part come on, I can't remember the song title, but he comes in and it just soars. His voice just comes right in, like
Yeah.
strong. I really
Oh, I
like
think
that.
that's probably at least I'm not a junkie. He starts
Yeah,
that
yeah.
song
And
singing.
his timings are weird when he comes in.
Yeah.
That's at least I'm not a junkie is awesome. I remember really smashing out to that at Army Navy at AMAF.
Yeah.
You guys played that. That's off the earliest one, right?
yeah, off the first
On
album.
the first
yeah.
album. And what was the other one I really liked? Something about at least I don't buy drugs.
Oh, the with all the walk hard thing. Never have I ever.
Never Have
and
I
that's
Ever.
also off the first.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it's amazing. It's when you're young and when you're experimenting and all of that, so you could look at it like, yeah, you guys were just young, dumb, and ready to fucking party. But the lyrics were real honest. They were real, like whatever you guys were feeling, whether you were tripping on something or whether you were just partying or whatever. The lyrics were always real honest for a bunch of 15, 16-year-old kids.
And that's almost how I got into the band. Was like I've always been really into writing and been considered a good lyric writer and stuff. And
Right.
but I can't really sing worth shit. So I was like,
Even now,
start doing the punky stuff and like
to me, where
it's
you
like-
don't have to be Michael Bublé.
Yeah, it's almost
voice.
the Bob Dylan style.
or a Tom Waits or somebody who's got that
Yeah,
gravelly off, other vocal, Les Claypool from Primus, different, who will take even what's his name, who passed away just recently. Controversial. What's his name? The young guy with the mandolin and
Jesse Stewart. Yeah.
Everybody has that gravelly, over-partied, wore-out, kicked in the nuts, life is tough voice, and it really lends to your vocals are what sells it. You're not your vocals, your lyrics are what sells it, because when you listen to them, a lot of times when I hear your lyrics, I can hear the point of what the song is, but you also have a lot of weirdness where it might mean something to you, but I'm wondering if the listener knows what that means.
Yeah, that weird metaphor or whatever that's in there.
And like what your head was thinking when you were so when Seducing, let's say it lasted half a dozen years and you guys did a bunch of albums. Before we move on, I do want to say that out of all of the songs you guys wrote, you did one collab with Jake Reimer from Voltang.
Yeah.
And not only is Voltang like super duper group in Canada and Ontario, and every time they played Guelph, it was just an explosive night, full of energy, yada yada. But when you had him come on and do, which we had Voltang and Seducing play at the same shows.
Yeah.
But when Jake played on this song, first of all, tell me how that happened. Like, why not somebody from this band or that band or whatever? Why Voltang? Was it because
Well, we did become like good friends with, like, I think
from playing shows?
and like even not just in, like, because I played with them a couple times in Mac and C's as well, so I think I've played like 5 or 6 shows with them over the years and stuff, yeah. And then I'd always go out to every show they were playing in Guelph and everything. And so our buddy Steve Haynes, the guy that produced these albums, he's from Hamilton, where Voltaic's from, and he's actually friends with Jake. And
a quick promotional thing, Steve Haynes and Jeremy Dodge of Seducing Medusa are in a band called Locutor, or Locateur, or Lock Cutter.
Yeah, they don't care how you say it.
Yeah, they don't care
they
how
don't
you
know
say
how to
it.
say it.
They don't. Yeah. Anyway, they're a sick band, progressive metalcore or whatever. Really, so we'll be bringing some of that to you pretty soon. But anyway, Steve Haynes.
Yeah, and he was buddies with them, and we knew we wanted some kind of feature on the album, and we were throwing out different names like. I know Andy really wanted like Blake Prince and like there's like all people that we kind of look up to.
Yeah.
And then he said, "What about Jake from Voltaing?" And he's one of my kind of
Right.
local idols. Like he's
Right.
my favorite local
And
vocalist.
you know what?
and
Like
stuff.
Blake is he's a prince, right? but honestly, he's on a lot of stuff, and he's
Yeah.
known for a lot of stuff. Jake is pretty underrated. In
Yeah,
the sense
I
that, because
agree.
I see you guys paralleling a lot because he writes really cool lyrics too.
Yeah.
That doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. If you dig it, cool. And
Yeah.
if you don't, fuck you.
And yeah, I've always just, even like his modeling
You're
and
like
stuff,
the
I think is
punk
such a cool
version of
thing.
Jake. Yeah. So anyway.
Thank you. Yeah, and then so he said, "What about Jake?" So then I was stoked on it. The rest of the band, like we all love Voltaing, so we were all stoked on it. So then he was like, "Yeah, I can work that out, and like we'll get him over here."
And did you write a song first? Like, did you
So-
know what song it was going to be, or just any
We
old
knew
song?
we knew Andy, Jeremy, and Daryl, and they wrote it, and the music for it and stuff. And I had my lyrics for the part I wanted to be at, but then we had a good like minute at the start that we had no lyrics for or anything. So but we knew that's where we wanted the feature and stuff. So then when Jake came in, we were basically like, "Here's the part," and I was like, "Here's my lyrics. Like, I don't know if you want to do, like, just pick some lines out of these lyrics and put them in your spot," or and he's like, "No, I'll write. It's like, what are your lyrics about?" And then look, I'll write the first verse kind of thing. And I was like, "Yeah, sweet, that sounds awesome." So I gave him my lyrics, and he just literally wrote it in the studio. He sat there with my lyrics there. Then kind of studied them and wrote and was listening to the song on his headphones at the same time and wrote a little his first verse.
That's really cool that he could do it like that, where he just reads your words, doesn't know how it is in a song, how it's going to play out, but his interpretation to those words actually kind of did a tit to your tat. Like you wrote something and he wrote another angle of what I understand.
Yeah, because it's about just the song's about like suicide, and I think I wrote from the point of view of the person that was, or no, I wrote from the point of view of like a friend looking in, where then he wrote it from the perspective of the person who committed suicide.
And he's the opening vocal of that.
Yeah,
right?
So then it makes sense to have it that way.
So he sings it as if he's the mind of the person committing suicide, and then you come at it from an outside point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Since Seducing Medusa, you went on to do what? Like, did you guys actually break up? I know I did like a finale show, but was it kind of more to logistics, or did you just say we weren't happy writing anymore, or what would you?
Well, I had already started with Mac and Sleaze, my folk punk band.
Right.
Like, I think the 2 last years of Seducing, I was in like both bands, playing shows in both bands.
Right.
And Troy had already left the band, so it was a 4-piece, and we were finishing up this album.
That changed the writing a lot.
Yeah, this album's very much like Jeremy and Andy and Daryl, and then me doing the lyrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, and I was really loving playing the kind of folky, kind of started with Mac and Sleaze, where it was hard to get, like, we were all kind of growing up doing our own things, like, away from the band and stuff, so
Right,
then we were practicing less and stuff.
Everybody gets
so
a girlfriend, gets a different
yeah,
job.
Daryl was out in London doing his filming,
Right.
like, Jeremy was in school, or I think working at this point, but, like, works a good job.
And then Daryl
like,
didn't drive, made it almost hard.
yeah, and
for
then
you guys
Andy was already, like, Andy's in Alberta now,
Was
moved
planning.
out, and he was planning to move out to Alberta,
Right.
so it's like kind of coming to the end,
It's
and
going
like,
to change whether we want it to or not.
yeah,
so.
exactly. So then, and I wanted to continue with music, so that's where I started Mac and Sleaze and stuff, even
Okay,
just because we weren't practicing as much, and I was like, well,
So
then I
let's
have an
pick it up,
extra day.
pick
I
it up
can-
from Mac and Sleaze, because we went from a really cool, like, the gorgeous Holly Springs party time metal band to all of a sudden you guys got washboards,
Yeah,
accordions,
folky,
acoustic bass. Speak to that. Like what? I
so
know you
that's
were doing it
on
already,
music.
but that's something obviously
Yeah.
you love.
Yeah, and that's music I kind of grew up on. Like, I actually wasn't into metal until I was like 17, 18. I was all into
Was
classic
it
rock
one of
and
your
folk
bros that
and
got you
punk
into it,
and,
or
oh, well, it was
into
always
metal?
yeah, it was basically the Seducing guys. Like, they're all my best friends from high school and stuff. So they were super into metal. I was more into punk. But I also loved rockabilly, which
Yeah.
is very similar to.
do you know Stray Cats?
Yeah, I love the Stray
Yeah,
Cats.
that was my back in the day.
So-
Lovin' Rockets. I don't know if you know them or not.
No, I don't know
We'll check them out later. Lovin'
So-
Rockets is cool.
But yeah, growing up, I never knew like what the term folk punk, but I realized I liked a lot of folk punk bands, like Against Me, Violent Femmes, like
I remember
all
not
that kind
liking
of
that
stuff.
term at first, because folk to me was kind and hopeful and like not down with war and peace and all that.
Yeah.
And punk is kind of anti-establishment and not mean, but more aggressive
Yeah.
and more I don't give a fuck and stuff. And I
Yeah.
thought, how do you do, like, I'm talking way back, how
Yeah.
do you do folk and punk? But I get it, because it's an angst. It's
And
it's I don't want to say lazy, but it's a laid back. You know what? It's almost just like fuck that. I mean, like it's a different attitude
Yeah.
than the right in your face aggro anything.
Yeah.
It's not poppy.
And
It's not clean. It's
also,
shiny. It's
Evan Vanderwood,
right.
folk
Evan,
artist, like
so talented.
he said something about it the one time, because I was like, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, like folk and punk, like how'd that get together? And he was like, they're both the working class man's music. Like, anyone can play it, and
Right.
anyone, so it makes sense that they kind of came together, and with like protest folk and then protest punk, it's like
I
it
mentioned
kind of
about
made sense for them to marry up at
right.
some point.
I mentioned Dream Theater earlier. Very rarely can somebody just pick up a guitar and mimic that.
Yeah.
You can pick up a guitar, play a 3-chord punk song, play a 3-chord folk, Joni
Yeah.
Mitchell,
And
play some Bob Dylan
they're
song.
both the only like 2 genres where it doesn't matter how bad your voice is. You can still, as long as you're saying
you
have
had
something
your
to say,
Neil Youngs and stuff like that, whose
Bob
voices
Dylan.
weren't
And
great.
some
but-
people like them, some people hate
Right,
them.
right.
And it's
well, I would venture to say, and I'm only saying it because I love you and we've been friends for years, but your Mac and Sleaze and Awkward Turner Suicide and all that is almost like anchovies or something, in the sense that you
Yeah.
either, or Buckley's or whatever, you
Yeah.
either like that shit like a lot, or it's not for me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I appreciate what it's supposed to do, but it's not for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love that. I think that really makes people. It's not like yeah, it's all right. No, it either sucks or it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure.
It kind of makes
Like,
people decide.
even within the folk punk scene, there's so many jokes about like it's like we all know we suck. Where it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like you can't hurt us because we're already beating the shit out of ourselves.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like, yeah,
and that's where the lyrics come in too, where it's like we're all just basically writing songs about being shitty people.
So, so name off all the people that were in Mac and Sleeves and let me know, is Mac and Sleeves still a thing?
Yeah, it was mostly getting like COVID and stuff that really slowed Mac and Sleeves down. We never officially disbanded or anything. I've always just said we're on hiatus.
Right.
And but yeah, I still talk to the guys in it, like Caleb.
So if things got-
Caleb Adams, I put him out on our label.
Right.
His solo
yeah,
stuff,
so-
Caleb A.
mentioned that before because I'm a big forgetter of things. The Grody Bedroom.
Grody Bedroom Sessions, yeah, that's just a little label me and Evan
So
made
what would
up.
you say to body guitar player out there who's got like a bag full of songs, a shoebox full of songs, and he's like pretty good and gritty, but he doesn't know who to or what to do? Like he just get a hold of you.
Yeah, it messed me up, and like, cause that's how we even really tried to start Grody. Is it was more of just a session we do where we were like, hey, if you have a song or two, come over, we'll record it for free. We'll do the best production we can for it.
Right.
But just to get those guys out there more doing stuff, and
I think I appreciate
makes
that.
you believe in yourself a little more.
It's
like,
what Chronic Noise does. It's not big on money or production or anything. It's
Yeah.
more big on heart and recognizing like support.
Yeah.
And that each person needs like, oh, I could add to that. Or I know a guy who, you know, and in my realm of it, it's like, oh, I know a band that you guys would pair up well with, or
Yeah,
or you need a
exactly.
guitar player, or you need a singer. I know a guy. By the way, I do know somebody who's looking for a screamer. If you're into doing
I'd
a
be-
metal side
I would
project,
be cool
Yeah.
into that. Yeah.
we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's always fun. So I want to play one song, and like I said, whether this all gets played at once or whether it gets edited, it's a lot of fun. It's my favorite Mac and Sleeves song. I'm sure there's tons of other ones. But I really like Doo Doo. It's a good fan favorite when you're at a live show. So
It's fun to yell.
Mac and Sleeves.
Getting off my train of thought to hop back on at the next stop. Locked in a box of mock shirt thoughts you fought backwards from most
Getting off my train of
Lost in
thought.
love is trust and pain. I trust lust to lead the way. Save me, play me, rearrange me. Change of strange portrait of crazy dude. What the fuck, dude? Dude, I don't recognize your face. What the fuck, dude?
Did other people write lyrics?
Yeah, so actually this song, Caleb, I wrote all the verse, and the chorus used to just go do 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 because I didn't have lyrics for it.
Okay, so that was Doo Doo Doo.
Yeah, and that's why it's called do do
I
do.
thought it would be called Dude. And then I was like, oh, it's Doo Doo. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
And then I remember I was talking to Caleb and I was like, every time I go to say do, I want to say dude, and then he just started like, dude, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, all right, there's the chorus right there. So yeah, Caleb actually wrote the chorus, and I wrote the verses for this one. And yeah, we had three main writers. There was me, Caleb, and Cam, who were the three original, and we all wrote songs. And then we added the three other guys that
I like
they wrote their parts, but they didn't write
I like the
like
revolving
the
door
lyrics.
that the people that were in the band that give them like Anthony and Adam and everybody kind of a bit of a chance to kind of stretch their legs and have a bit of fun on the local scene that they've always supported. Like
Yeah, exactly.
have been at all my shows, like you guys too, all of you guys.
Yeah.
But you're in bands, and I was working with you guys anyway, right? So
Yeah.
but all of the guys in Mac and Sleeves kind of in one way or another got to be at shows of mine and be on the stage booked by me as well,
Yeah.
which was a lot of fun because I could see how proud they were of doing that.
Yeah, they loved it. And they still, like, even with my solo stuff under Cody James McDusa, a lot of the time there's features from Caleb or features from
Right.
Anthony. And
By the
like,
way, if you are looking for Cody online, on Facebook, on Instagram, he's under Medusa for Seducing Medusa. If you haven't figured that out already. But
stage name back from like
yeah, from
when you used to have your emo MySpace names and
Right.
stuff.
yeah, ask Tom, he was there too. But anyway, so then Mac and Sleeves kind of, obviously while you kind of have that on hiatus, you're not just going to lie dormant.
Yeah.
So Awkward Turn or Suicide, did you meet some, or did you just say this is a different, like how do you divide up the styles of music? What's the difference between Mac and Sleeves and Awkward Turn?
Yeah,
It
was almost Awkward Turner started as almost like a side project I was gonna do, where it was gonna be about these puppets that were kind of grimy puppets, and it was gonna be called the Smuppets and be like a YouTube show. And one of the stories I had written was about a musician that was like a puppet, and it was about him like his downfall into like drinking and drugs, and him ending up killing himself. Like just like a dark puppet story. And then I was like, oh well, I want to make a kind of a background album just to add some lore to this puppet and who he is and who his band was and stuff. And then so I put out one little 2-song EP online just to kind of start the lore and stuff. And then Troy from guitarist Sedmet, he came out and he was talking to me. He's like, I really want to be in a project, but like a project where like I'm not the face of it, like I'm kind of, you know, hidden in the background and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm making
more anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, I'm making this kind of band that's like I'm hiding behind a puppet. Do you want to be a puppet kind of thing?
Good.
And he was like, yeah, sounds cool. So then me and him started trying to write more and more, and it was still kind of the end idea of like, oh, maybe I'll still do the YouTube video at some point, and then it started like taking off more and more online and stuff, and we were like, all right, maybe we'll just keep going with this band, and this is the band we're in now, some puppets, and that's where we want to get Daryl involved and do like maybe a little mockumentary, like
No, that'd be
type
amazing.
thing,
You could
like-
even actually put out DVDs that could be sold at your merch table.
Yeah, exactly,
If it
like-
was actually done right, that'd be
Yeah.
fun. So assuming, let's say the magic wand waves and everybody's back at shows, Awkward Turner Suicide, which by the way, for the old folks, that might kind of go along with Bachman Turner Overdrive. That was kind of the thing.
Yeah, it was
My ear heard that right away, and you're
a
like,
mocking
actually,
of-
it was kind of a mock.
yeah, like a
mock
pun or
making.
whatever.
Yeah, pun intended. But anyway,
Spoofing.
you guys would be playing. You plan on putting something together to play?
Yeah, we've done a couple live streams, and when we do the live stream, it's basically both of us with the guitar and both doing vocals. Like obviously,
Right.
with in the songs we record, there's like we're all both playing 3 to 4 instruments, so we obviously can't do that on stage. So it's almost more of an acoustic stuff when we play it live, like an acoustic set of the songs.
Yeah.
But then we've also been talking, like I've been talking to Caleb, who's in Mac and Sleeves, who's also an amazing drummer, if he'd want to do like be our live show drummer and stuff. And so we're talking about maybe getting kind of like a backup band that's like not necessarily writing, but just like a live show band.
A live,
like some session musicians kind of thing.
Something
like,
we talked about, you have yet another project too.
Little Lou, yeah, based off a character from one of Daryl's early short film movie type things.
Yeah.
And that's me and Troy again with our other buddy Jared, who's a screamer.
Jared Lines.
Yeah, Jared Lyons, and then So I basically make beats, and then me and Troy play distorted guitar over those beats, and then me and Jared scream over them.
That's awesome.
And it makes a weird MSI kind of.
I was just gonna
like,
say, where
like
would you?
Horse the Band, and
Yeah, I was gonna say where
early
would you fit
Dr.
in?
Acula, like some weird like techno emo metal, like.
Right. Is that something that you could see doing? Like all of these things, I'm sure eventually will be on like either a Bandcamp or
Yeah, well, that
YouTube
one's
or-
actually our first like EP. It's just a 2-song. Is released March 1st on.
Oh,
It'll be
cool.
on Spotify and
Nice.
everything. Also, just getting released through the like Cody Bedroom
That's
label
Little
and
Lou.
stuff. That's Little Lou, yeah.
Okay.
So that's
I'm
March
looking forward
1st.
to
I'm
hearing
pretty
that come
sure
out
it's
and show
on
me
there.
a little bit of it.
Yeah, a
It's
little
fun.
snippet, and
It's different.
it's silly stuff.
Yeah.
But that's
Hey,
the point.
if you're into silly, if you're into folk punk, if you're into that whole thing has its coolness / silliness about it.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's
definitely.
everyday guy, right? Every person, every girl, every guy can pick up the guitar and sing badly.
Yeah.
And you're welcome if it has some sort of a passion or a heart. You're just
Yeah.
trying to be shitty on purpose. That's kind of
Yeah,
sucks,
then
but-
it's like.
But I mean, if you're just playing honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
And Little Lou like really started out. I get mad when people are always like, oh, I don't like metal because you can't dance to it. So I was just like, I'm gonna make a metal you can dance to. Get some beats in there and.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had a second to do any shout outs, would you like to musical shout outs to anybody or whatever? Because this is an interview that's going to be played on a Metal Mondays. Whether it's bandmates,
There's so many people to shout out.
Well,
like,
stab a few out there and we'll close her up.
well, I guess watch Orange Hat Film Productions stuff. We're
100%.
always involved in that. I'm usually doing some kind of music for it, or I did some special effects for their last movie. Well, check out whatever fucking Jeremy's band's name is.
Oh, yeah, LOCUTOR, La Couture.
Yeah.
Le Couture.
It's some made up shit.
Yeah.
Check it out
It's
because
good
it's
stuff.
awesome. Just keep up with all the Sedmed boys because they're all doing cool stuff, and the Mac and Sleaze guys, like they're all still doing their solo projects and everything.
And if you like any of that stuff that we've been playing tonight, go check out on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. You'll find tons of footage for these guys. Anyway, Cody, thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
Yeah,
Cheers.
man. And we'll look forward to some new music from a lot of the projects you're with. Lil Lou, Awkward Turn to Suicide, and possibly Mac and Sleaze.
Yeah, might come back.
And like I said, Bob Andy out there, because I know you'll see this at some point. Next time you plan a trip down to Ontario, we're going to get a SedMed reunion show and blast it out of the fucking water. So, peace. Chronic Noise, Uncle Rick, Metal Mondays, Cody McDermid. Take care, everybody. Bye.